Welcome everyone. I'm going to briefly review how to estimate energy needs. Remember that we have a cheat sheet to use in this class. We also have a decision tree. These are available for you to use both in class and on exams. There are other ways to estimate needs as well. There are published journal articles on new methods, as well as guidelines issued by groups like Aspen or other groups that deal with certain disease states. You can also go to the Nutrition Care Manual to find out how to estimate needs for a patient with a particular disease or condition. First, let's find your tools in the course. They are located in the module titled Basics of Nutrition Care Process and Nutrition Assessment. The resources are located here. So in modules within the part of the course card modules, we have the resource called Calculating Energy, Protein, and Fluid Needs, and then we also have a decision-making tree. So let's first talk about the reference sheet, and I'm going to walk you through it. You're going to go to your decision tree in order to decide what to use on the reference sheet. So the first question is the patient healthy? By healthy, we mean, do they have a disease or condition which would be expected to cause estimated energy needs to be different from those of a typical person? For example, hypertension doesn't change how many calories or how much energy you burn in a day, nor does diabetes or cardiovascular disease. However, if you have burns over a large part of your body or multiple traumas, that can actually affect your estimated energy needs. So if they're healthy, meaning maybe they actually are healthy, have no disease states, or if they're healthy, meaning maybe they have some disease conditions but none that affect energy needs, then you would go to the next question. You would say, yes, they're healthy. And then you say, are they obese or not, and use their BMI to determine that. So if they're overweight or obese, meaning a BMI of 25 or above, then you would say yes, and then you may use the TEE equation. This TEE equation is part of the DRI equations. There are two DRI equation sets. There are EERs for normal weight or non-obese people, and then there are TEE equations for overweight or obese adults who are relatively healthy. If they are both healthy and overweight or obese, you could use the TEE equation, part of the DRIs. You could use the Mifflin-St. Jeor, you could use Harris-Benedict, or you could use a quick method. If there isn't a quick method that applies to your patient or client on the cheat sheet, you can go to the Nutrition Care Manual to find one. Let's do that now. So going to the Nutrition Care Manual, I will drag that over here. Okay, so now when you're in the Nutrition Care Manual, you can go to Nutrition Care, and then from there you choose conditions. And let's say you want to know for a patient with diabetes what to do. You could go to possibly general guidance, or you could go to type 2 and then go to comparative standards. And under comparative standards is usually where you find information how to estimate needs. For example, here it tells you if the patient is obese or very inactive, you could use 20 kcals per kilo. If they're greater than 55, or they're active women or sedentary men, you could use 25, and if they're active men or very active women, you might use 30, etc. So those give you some quick methods. You also, as an alternative, could go to the Nutrition Care Manual, and you could choose under resources, you could go to energy metabolism, and then under energy metabolism, you could go to estimation of energy requirements, and then under estimation of energy requirements, you could go to applications of populations of interest, and there you might choose, for example, determination of needs in the critically ill, and you can read about the relative benefits of those methods. So that's if you're using the Nutrition Care Manual. Remember, to access the Nutrition Care Manual, you go into www.nutritioncaremanual.org. As I said, you can go to the comparative standards or you can go to the individual issues. Now, let's go back to our decision tree. So if you decide the patient's not healthy, then you have some other questions. Are they critically ill? When we say critically ill, typically a critically ill patient would be on the ventilator and in the ICU. And so if that answer to that question is yes, then you would go to the next question, which are they either obese or are they older than 60? If either of those answers is yes, then you use a particular Penn State, or you could use Ireton-Jones or a quick method. If the answer to those is no, well, then you might use the other Penn State or Ireton-Jones or a quick method. And if they're not critically ill, it's really not clear, they're just ill in the hospital, what methods you need to use. But you could use Mifflin St. George, you could use Harris-Benedict, you could use World Health Organization. But that's how you make those decisions.